Welcome back to Elevation Perspective. My name is Mark, joined today with Frank Tropiano. Frank, this Saturday is Elimination Chamber. We are on the road to WrestleMania. What is the excitement level for you come this Saturday?
I mean, this chamber is the men's chamber is so stacked, and the women's chamber looks great too. I'm just really excited for these two matches. I think this is going to be. Listen, it's sort of got the same connotation to the Royal Rumble, where I'm just going to be waiting around for those two special matches to start. But I expect nothing but the best.
Yeah, I feel like there's been so much kind of theorizing and ideas going on the internet right now, like who is facing who at WrestleMania. I think we'll have a lot of answers after Saturday's complete, and not all the answers, but hopefully a good amount of them. Is still so much up in the air, but we'll jump right into it now with KO and Sammy in an unsanctioned match. My first thought here is, why not WrestleMania? Why are we having this big one-on-one match right now? I know there might be some kind of because Randy Orton's the Mania plans, but I feel like this singles unsanctioned match screams WrestleMania to me, not the Chamber.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we've done Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. We've done Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. We've done Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn together winning the tag team championships in the main event. It's one of those matches where I don't think we can ever scoff that it's on a pay-per-view, but it probably didn't have to happen at WrestleMania, and it feels like it's the beginning of whatever the two of them are about to get into, not the end. And I think WrestleMania is for natural ends, not the middle of whatever this is going to be.
Do you think this continues after the Chamber? You don't see it ending between the two of them here?
So I actually really don't know what Endgame is. Obviously, the hot rumor is that Randy Orton's going to come back and it's going to be Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. Where does that leave Sami Zayn, who needs to have a spot on the WrestleMania card for sure? I mean, at this point, Kevin and Sammy have both been penciled in as a guy who, I mean, they both main evented. Kevin Owens main evented consecutive WrestleMania. I think it was consecutive WrestleMania. It might have been 38 and 40.
Well,
Actually, I think
It was Stone
no, it
Cold
was,
in the tag team match.
yeah, 38 and 39. He consecutive Saturday night main events, and Sami Zayn has well earned his spot on the card at WrestleMania, even if it is for a mid card belt or in a mid card feud. He still definitely deserves to be on there. So I don't know what he's going to be doing if that is indeed the case.
There are some rumors right now that Braun Breaker's match will be a multi-man match, but I feel like Sammy's elevated above that point where we shouldn't just throw him in like a multi-man match just to get him on the card. Like you were kind of saying, like he's not really one of those guys anymore. He's above the mid card.
I feel like every year there is going to be the idea of two or three guys where it's like, damn, they deserve to be in a prominent spot here, and they're not. And Sami Zayn might fall victim to that. Another guy we're going to talk about later who might have the same exact kind of thing is Drew McIntyre. I can't place him on this card right now if I'm looking at like the most logical spot, but we still don't know. So I think that's the thing to keep in mind, right? We think Kevin and Sammy is I'm sorry. We think Kevin and Randy is happening at WrestleMania. Randy Orton has still not returned to WWE television. He's still not around as of right now. So we don't actually know.
Tell me Kevin Owens is finally going to win a match here.
He has to, right?
He
If
has
I
to.
have to pick one of them to win, it's got to be Kevin Owens. Again, I feel like Sami Zayn also kind of needs a win right now, but Sami Zayn is also one of those guys who never needs to win at this point, too. So yeah, we got to give Kevin Owens a win here, especially crazy Kevin Owens. He's done such great character work. It's time for him to actually get a little momentum behind that.
We're in full agreement there. Kevin Owens has to win this match on Saturday. Moving on now to the tag team match between Tiffany and Trish versus Nia and Candice. How do you feel?
This is, I mean, look, it's fun. We put Tiff with Trish, and that's what matters here, right? It's the two of them being seen side by side. Nia should not have been a throw in this match. She should absolutely have been in the chamber, but I guess they don't want to see her lose like that. Candice will take the pin here. It'll probably be a Stratusfaction tag into Tiffy, who does the shooting star off the ropes. That is so impressive every time she does it. Easy finish, right? Like this one's not difficult, right? You want the end result to be Trish Stratus raising Tiffany Stratton's hands, that passing of the guard, right? That
Yeah,
next Trish
that
like
makes
look.
sense. That's the most logical finish. Like you said, Candice probably takes the fall here. I didn't think about that as like in terms of the ramifications that Nia's pretty much locked out of a title match at Mania, which is fine. That's not terrible. I mean, maybe she goes against like Chelsea Green for the US or something. They have the two mid cards now, but it feels like she should probably be at least involved with the title picture.
It's sad because she's had in my opinion, between her and Liv Morgan, they've had the two best women's years, like if you're going WrestleMania to WrestleMania, Nia Jax has had an incredible run this year. And so it feels like she should be rewarded with a good match at WrestleMania. But again, two or three people every single year where you're like, wow, they deserve better. Nia Jax is going to be that person, at least from representing the women's division for me.
Yeah, just devil's advocate there. I guess if they wanted to, they could have Charlotte come out there and cost the faces the match, but it doesn't really seem like it's worth it there. Just have the faces go over. It's Trish in her hometown. Let's have a big celebration and just have a nice 10, 15-minute match and go on our way. But now, probably, it's not going to be the highlight of the show, but it's going to be a very important focal point of the show. It's The Rock. It's Cody Rhodes. He has to go out there and decide if he's going to give The Rock his soul. There's a lot to unpack here, Frank. I guess just right off the gates here, do you think Cody says yes?
I can't tell you if he says yes or if he says no. Truthfully, if I'm gun to my head, I'm going to say he at least says no tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think there's a look, there could definitely be a payoff in Cody turning heel and joining the Rock side. But I think if they want to throw us all for a loop, Cody's got to be the babyface that he's been for the last year, but more than a year. He's been chasing this title since the second he got back at WrestleMania 38. We're headed into WrestleMania 41. So for 3 years now, Cody's been the undying babyface, and it hasn't gotten old yet. And so I'm all in for switching Cody before we expect it, right? Before it gets tired, right? But we got to do it in a way where maybe we don't see it coming just right away, or maybe they don't just spoon feed it to us like this.
Both stories are very compelling in the sense that if Cody says yes and becomes this major heel, the Rock's guy, that's really interesting. Also, Cody saying no, and the idea of Rock having to choose somebody else, if that is Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, whoever that might be, who becomes the Rock's champion. Both stories are really good. If it is John Cena, Cody Rhodes, I think it does make a lot of sense, though, to turn Cody heel now leading up to WrestleMania.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know because I think first of all, Cody Rhodes and John Cena, that's a build that'll work. You know what I mean? Even both of them being baby faces, I think that those two guys can pull it off. It obviously that's probably the hardest build that you could do is two baby faces facing off against each other. But they did it with him and Daniel Bryan before he left for his injury, and that winded up being absolutely fine. And lo and behold, that night we were taken for for the loop when Triple H pedigree DB right in the middle of the ring, and Randy Orton came in and cashed in his Money in the Bank, and it winded up being perfect because nobody saw a non-babyface going home with the title that night. I want to say that we could do something perfectly similar here. We got two faces building up this match to the main event of WrestleMania, and then just when we think John's about to win it all, become the 17-time champion, and the crowd's ready to celebrate, they're ready to have that party with him. All of a sudden, Cody joins The Rock mid-match. The crowd is stunned. Cody's a heel. Everyone would be jaws on the floor. What happened? Feel betrayed. I think it would be perfect, truthfully.
That could work, but I would have a hard time believing the entire build is face versus face for the Mania match to be the big turn. It would be crazy. I see the vision, but I feel like he has to do these like awful things as a heel to John on the way there. Cut these awful promos against the part-timer who's coming back here trying to steal his spotlight. It's a tough in between. And I think the face versus face concept, like you were kind of alluding to, I think Cody would get heavily booed in that scenario. I don't think the fans would get behind Cody at all.
And see, I think that's what could ultimately lead to the Monday night or Friday night, whenever they have him cut the promo on why he did what he did. I think that all plays into it so perfectly. It's
Okay.
like, I've been out here for 3 years. I beat the bloodline. I saved this company and you all booed me. And as John Cena, who didn't win a singles match for 10 years, came back and you all wanted to see him win. Well, guess what? It's not happening. I'm the champ now. And I think it could set up, first of all, Cody gets the ultimate rocket as a heel now after he got the ultimate rocket as a babyface last year. It cements Cody as like a Hall of Fame first ballot talent or whatever, because nobody will have saw it coming, or maybe people will have seen it coming, but by that point, it'll just be so great, it doesn't matter. And John then keeps the chase up for the entire year until maybe he gets back to Cody. In fact, I think at that point he would have to get back to Cody and he would have to beat Cody. And I think that is the longer story that's playing out. It's a weird year for WWE because they have their WrestleMania and then they have John Cena for the rest of the year. And everything John Cena does is going to be absolutely huge this year. So look, they might get a second WrestleMania moment out of that Ruthless Aggression pay-per-view that they have at the end of the year, which it looks like is going to be John's last appearance. I don't know. I think it could. I think it could work really, really well if they just wait a little bit before that Cody heel turn.
We have two chamber matches to talk about. Let's talk about the women's match first. We have Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss versus Naomi versus Liv Morgan versus Bayley versus Roxanne Perez. Lots of names there, lots of potential storylines, winners. I guess like right off the bat here, Frank, what are you most excited about for this match?
What am I most excited about for this match? I'm most excited about the fact that there are just six really talented women in this match and that they are going to get their spots in. And I'm pretty excited for the entertainment. And I think I'm also excited of the fact that I think Liv Morgan is going to win, but I don't actually know if Liv Morgan's going to win.
I feel like she'd be such a great choice, and it makes like the perfect sense, if not for the year-long feud with Rhea. Like for me, for them to go back into that vortex of Rhea and Liv that we fought so hard to escape from, I feel like that'd be a major step back.
Yeah, I mean, look, and if they wanted to do the best match at WrestleMania, then Bianca would win this match, and it would be Bianca and Rhea. And oh my god, I mean, how great would that match be? Like that has to headline a WrestleMania at one point in time in both women's careers, or we got absolutely robbed. Because all due respect to Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch and where they're at right now, those two are the top of the women's division in my eyes, at least in the current moment. People that show up every week that have been doing the job for years at a really high level. So I would love to see that match, and I want Bianca to win this match, but I know it's not happening. I know she's got to do things with Jade Cargill.
It feels like Roxanne and Bayley are kind of tied together right now, that they'll either cost each other or something on those lines. Like you said previously, Bianca versus Rhea is main event to WrestleMania worthy. That's a massive match, but they have Naomi in that match as well. I think we kind of all expect at some point Jade's going to come back. I feel like we talk about this every single day where it's like they got to pay off that story at some point where it feels like now might be the time. I'm not sure if Jade actually gets inside the chamber. She might. I wouldn't be surprised at all, but it feels like she's tied up. So it really just leaves Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss is a sneaky pick there. Maybe the Wyatt Six help her out, but it feels a little far fetched.
Listen, I would Liv versus Rhea. It was a great feud this year. I think it had its lulls at times, but if we're doing the short run here, month and a half until WrestleMania, they could do it one more time. I'd be okay with it. Alexa versus Rhea, that would be something completely new, something I don't think we've seen before, and I'd be on board for that too. Really, Bianca, Rhea, Liv, one of the three of them have to win this match. I think Bayley just, she just got the title shot last year. She won. She had a good run. She's done some good things this year, but it's not for her. Like you said, I don't think they throw it on Roxanne Perez just quite yet. And then Naomi, I don't know. It feels like that would be a drop off from the other three. Look, Alexa would be cool, but I think me and you both believe that it's going to be Liv.
You're going to go with Liv?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm going to pick Alexa. I am. I kind of talked myself into a little bit. Just like I said it because Liv is great. I really like Liv, but I feel like we got to do something different here. We had the big blow off at the Raw Netflix where Rhea finally won the belt and got away from Liv. And I don't really think it's going to happen. I can't really tell myself the story, but if they want to do Wyatt Six stuff, I feel like they've been off TV forever. Maybe they get back involved at the chamber here. They put Alexa over, and that could be really interesting if they have a kind of supernatural situation going on, kind of throwing Rhea off her game. Maybe it works. I'll pick Alexa.
I hope you're right. I do. I hope you're right. Actually, I hope we're both wrong, and I hope it's Bianca, but I know it's not going to be Bianca. So Alexa would be cool. And like I said, at the end of the day, Liv is a world-class performer. She absolutely deserves to be in the spot at WrestleMania. And if she gets it, I'll be happy for her.
Moving on now to what I believe we think is the main event, the men's Elimination Chamber match. We have John Cena, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Jake Paul, and Damian Priest. First off here, Frank, why is Damian Priest in this match?
I was going to say, I'll tell you who's not going to win this match.
He's the one guy you could just cross off, right?
Listen, DP, another one. He's had a great campaign this year. He's done a lot of good things. If Roman Reigns wasn't going to be in this match, if The Rock, I don't think he was ever going to be in this match. But, if there was a name that on the roster that was deserving of being in this match other than the five that are already in it. And I know people will argue that Logan Paul shouldn't be in. That's ridiculous. He obviously brings eyes outside of the company, and he's a good wrestler too. So he deserves to be in spots like this because of what he can bring to the table. If it wasn't going to be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who are obviously tied up with each other, then I think Damian Priest has had a good as year as anyone and deserves to be in this match. So I mean, look, good for him. He's probably going to be the first person eliminated, but
The argument stands and is fair that you don't want six superstars in there that are like mega guys that can't take pins because people have to lose this match. But to me, the way they shape this up, where they have four top borderline legend guys with Cena, with Punk, with Seth, with Drew, and then you kind of just throw, and I mean Logan's a big deal too. Then you throw in Damian Priest, and to me, it's a pretty sizable drop off. I'll just ask the question that I feel like Twitter is talking about right now. Frank, do you see Damian Priest getting jumped before the match? Do you see somebody taking his spot?
I mean, look, if it's anyone, it's Roman, or it doesn't make any sense. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And at that point, like that's okay. Like if you get jumped by Roman Reigns and you are eliminated from a match, like that's okay. But like they can have some other guy in the mid, like I'll use Sheamus. Sheamus is not going to happen, right? But you can't have Sheamus attack Damian Priest and get in this match. That would be really bad. Damian Priest deserves to be in this match over
What
somebody like
if
that.
what if Dom Mysterio on the Judgment Day take out Priest and Dom gets in there?
Listen, that would I would be okay with that. I would, and at least then they have the history with DP. You know what I mean? Like at least then it's like story connecting itself. But he can't, again, absent of Roman Reigns himself being put in this match or something like that with where it has the story implications with either Dom or Finn. I'd be okay with Finn being in the match too. Um,
No, we can't do
you
that anymore.
can't take him out of this match. You can't. He deserves to be in this spot.
All right, so the way I'm shaping this up here, tell me if I'm wrong or if you feel I'm wrong. Logan and Priest have no chance. Drew and Seth, somewhat of a chance. And then it's really 50-50 here between Punk and Cena.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Seth Rollins has no chance either.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because it feels like he's so earmarked, regardless of what's happening with CM Punk, he is earmarked for that match with Roman Reigns. Like he's going to be in a match with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Roman Reigns is not the WWE Championship. They are not taking it off of Cody Rhodes before WrestleMania and giving it to Roman Reigns because obviously that would have to happen in a pay-per-view or something like that. It just not happening, right? So I'm going to say Seth Rollins also has no chance of winning this match, which is crazy to say most nights, but I think this one, the story just writes itself. He's not going to win this match.
I guess Drew's possible path to victory could be The Rock. If The Rock gets behind Drew after Cody says no, possibly. I guess we'll just start off there. We'll start with The Rock because we spoke about him previously. Do you see him getting involved in this match to any capacity? Not even physically, just maybe he walks out there, like any kind of Rock appearance during the Chamber match.
For Rock, I think that if he's going to get involved in this match, it would make only sense to be on behalf of Drew McIntyre. If he were gonna like, if I think there's a lot of people talking about CM Punk also being the corporate champion, right? Which makes no sense to me, but like whatever. Punk is a great heel and he can turn like that and he'll make it work. That's fine. But if he gets involved on McIntyre's behalf, I mean, if there's a corporate champion in the WWE, that would be perfect for that role and be like that, like kind of crybaby heel that goes running to the Rock every time something like a little something goes wrong and has things fixed their way. Drew McIntyre would be perfect because he's also still physically imposing. So yeah, if Rock does get involved, I think it would be on behalf of Drew McIntyre or no one. But I'm gonna say no, he does not get involved.
And our other big guy here that I know you keep telling me in private conversations that you really think Roman gets involved here. You really think he screws Seth Rollins. That's what you felt. How do you kind of see that?
Yeah, I mean, like I think he just gets in the chamber somehow. You know, Damian Priest or Logan Paul get eliminated. Roman comes in. He got double stomped, so there's the motive is perfectly there. I have a problem with Roman getting involved and taking out both Seth and Punk, and I think we've had this conversation, right? There's talks. What's going to happen with Punk at WrestleMania? And I think there's two ways that this goes, right? Punk either wins this match and goes on to face Cody Rhodes, or Punk loses this match and he gets somehow involved in the match between Roman and Seth. I would prefer Punk not be in that spot with Roman and Seth. I think it feels forced. And I also don't think that you can have Roman come in and delete 33% of the chamber and 50% of the participants that we actually believe could win. And in my case, I just don't like Roman coming in and taking out two of the six participants.
It also does feel like it probably has to be somewhat screwy though for some of these finishes. When you have Cena, Seth, Drew, and Punk, these are guys that they don't really lose clean too often.
I mean, at this point, Cena can get pins 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring, and it'll be fine. Especially if they're really going to do that, though, they should have him be one of the first people and survive, like just get beat up the whole entire time, but survive. You know what I mean? Hit a big EAA and get the elimination on possibly Drew McIntyre or possibly Seth Rollins. He can get pinned clean. You're right. Punk, it's hard to see him getting pinned 1, 2, 3, unless maybe it's to Cena. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work, and that kind of is what excites me about this whole thing.
Just back to John there. I feel like really safe money says he either wins this match or he's the final guy eliminated. It feels like that'll either further the storyline of he can't win the big one, he can't win the match. I guess we'll just go right into the winners here. Not a whole lot more to dissect until we actually see the match itself. Do you have John Cena winning this match?
For me, it's John or Punk. And it's funny because the Royal Rumble, we were saying it's John or Punk
Yep.
too. If they want to do the same thing that they did at the Royal Rumble and throw us for a loop, I think it's Drew McIntyre. I don't, however, right now I'm like, if I'm splitting it up into thirds, John's got like the slightly bigger piece of the 100% there. I'm gonna say John Cena.
I'm going to take John Cena as well. I really want Punk to win. I really do, but I just can't see John like not involved with the title match at Mania. It feels like we're saying all these who's this guy going to face? Who's that guy going to face? What's Sammy going to do? What's Drew going to do? Like we can't have that idea, that confusion with John. It's his last WrestleMania ever. Like he needs a very prominent spot. I feel like it's not great in the sense that he hasn't been on TV. He's not building up for this match, but it doesn't really matter. But just kind of like the struggle doesn't really feel the way it's supposed to feel because he only had the one Rumble match.
I guess he's John Cena. He's just a big deal when he shows up. So he's
Of
going to be a
course.
big deal in this match. You're right. Look, John versus Logan Paul. I'm all on board with John Cena versus Logan Paul. But it's John Cena's last WrestleMania. I don't know. That just doesn't feel right to me. And so that's what I keep coming around to. On the other side, CM Punk versus Logan Paul. This is not CM Punk's last WrestleMania, right? Hopefully. It sounds like he's ready to go for at least a few more years, right? That's a match that intrigues me after that promo. And I know a lot of people, including
No.
yourself, are going to get mad at that, right? But again, there's going to be an odd man out here. And I don't know. I don't
I
know.
don't even dislike Logan Paul. I don't want to like convey that message. I just think putting him with any of these big guys we're talking about right now is just not what I want to see at WrestleMania. And I know he's great in the ring. It'll be a great match. It's just that's not what I want to see Punk doing at Mania.
If there's a way we can get both John and Punk into the championship match, I'd love to see that, truthfully. I think that makes so much more sense from a booking standpoint, however they decide to do it, rather than Punk getting involved with Seth and Roman, which I feel like is a blood feud. It goes deeper than just having Punk as the add-on. I know Punk has the history with those two guys, but it's just not that he's just not as intently in that rivalry as the other two guys are against each other.
I know it doesn't really matter because it is this big blood feud. It's Roman and Seth for crying out loud, but I feel like this should have a title and it should be a main event of WrestleMania. This should. I'm gonna have a problem with them having this one-on-one match for nothing at 9 p.m. Like it's just not gonna. It's not gonna feel the way it's supposed to feel.
I think that we are still in our old WWE mentality ways where now just being on the WrestleMania card, you are like a main eventer. And I know that's hard to say, but Roman Reigns has main evented 10 WrestleManias and deservingly so. He's been awesome, especially this last run that he went on with the championship. Nothing against that. But I can't sit here and tear up that Roman Reigns isn't going to main event a WrestleMania. And I think that right now, guys like Cena in his last one deserve it more than Roman does. Guys like Punk, who have never main evented a WrestleMania, deserve it more than Roman does. And guys like Jey Uso and Gunther, who have never done it. Jay's the highest selling merchandise seller in the WWE right now, or one of them pretty consistently. He's so over. It's okay to give somebody else a turn here. And the unfortunate part is that it's going to be Roman and Seth with lower stakes.
So if that was the case, I would say we've waited this long. Let's keep waiting. It's been what 10 years of this feud. Let's have the big blow up where it is deserved to be at WrestleMania in the main event with Roman having the belt. Maybe I don't know if they'll have Seth win that match, of course, but I don't know. It just feels like you waited this long. Don't shoot the cannon right now when it doesn't really mean a whole lot.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know because you definitely have a point, right? But I think they're trying to get away from every major feud being over a championship and having a guy like Roman Reigns in a feud not for a championship. That could do wonders for that narrative. You know, they're really trying to get away from that. I think we're going to see some women's matches that are not for championships on the WrestleMania card. Obviously, whatever Jade Cargill does with Bianca, I like this idea that we're getting away from every feud needs to be a title, and it's Roman Reigns and it's Seth Rollins, and it's going to be awesome.
I do think the best case scenario, like you said in night two, is Cena, Punk, and Cody. I feel like we somehow make that a triple threat match that is really awesome. I guess before we kind of wrap up here with Chamber Talk, just give me your best guess right now. What do you have for the night one main event of WrestleMania?
Night one main event of WrestleMania. I'm going to go back and forth on this for some time, but I think that if Jey Uso is going to go over in that match, Jey Uso closing the show, maybe Jimmy comes out and gives him a big hug. You know, it'll be a really, really nice moment. It'll be a really triumph moment, especially if we're going to get thrown for a loop and it's not going to be a fairy tale ending the night after, like I had kind of previously mentioned in the beginning. Or if, you know, Cody had already turned full heel, like you kind of said, and him and The Rock stand tall and they crush John Cena's dreams. I think Jey Uso winning the title, everyone will be really hyped. Everyone will be celebrating. They'll be yeeting. Pat will be yeeting all over the place. You know, I think that should main event night one, at least as of right now. But let's see how things shape out with Roman, Seth, and Punk, because I think you and our friend the heel who's not here today have been pretty adamant with the fact that those three talents need to main event tonight at WrestleMania. And look, well, I don't want to see it. I definitely agree with the sentiment.
I think if it's Roman and Seth singles match, you can open the show with that. I think if it's a triple threat match with Punk, that has to be a main event. But Frank, anything else here before we wrap it up?
No, that's it. I talked a lot about it, but if there was a corporate champion for The Rock, who do you think would be? That's not Cody. Who do you think it would be?
If it's not Cody, I think it should be Punk. I know you kind of said it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but the whole driving force of CM Punk at this stage, he's what, 45, whatever he is, years old. He wants the main event WrestleMania. The Rock is the boss. The Rock can give him what he wants. It'll be really interesting how they tell the story because I don't think CM Punk gets booed in any capacity, but maybe they find a really clever way to make people not like him. I don't think it's going to work, but if it was not Cody, I think they should make CM Punk the guy.
And I think if they were to do something like that, they could keep Cody over as a baby face. Like it's hard to keep a guy as a baby. Again, can't stress enough. We're headed into WrestleMania 41. He returned at WrestleMania 38. He's been a true blue baby face since he's gotten back for 3 years, and he's gotten a positive crowd reaction for 3 years. In 2025, that deserves all the applause, and I think Punk could keep him over like that. But I think he'd have to lose the match at WrestleMania, which, look, a year-long title reign, that's pretty good.
All right, Frank, we'll come back probably on Monday or Tuesday recapping everything that happened from the chamber. I think we're going to have a lot of information, talk about a lot of different storylines to really dissect. But hopefully everyone enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching.